This is Group 4's presentation, Against No-Kill Animal Shelters by Maykaila, Landon, Valerie, Maria, Gisele, Animals and Society.
My name is Maria Segoviano, and today I will be talking about history and background. A no-kill shelter is an animal care facility that aims to avoid euthanizing healthy animals or those with treatable medical or behavioral conditions. Although called no-kill, these shelters may still euthanize up to 10% of the animals in their care each year. Typically, when animals are severely ill, suffering, or dangerously aggressive, the modern no-kill movement emerged during the 1990s in response to growing concern about the large numbers of healthy dogs and cats being euthanized in traditional shelters as a way of controlling overpopulation. Many people began to argue that killing millions of adoptable animals was not an acceptable or effective solution. During this period, independent rescue groups started forming across the United States with the shared mission of saving homeless animals from being put down. The first no-kill directory was published in 1994 to help these scattered groups connect. That same year, San Francisco became the first official no-kill city after the SPCA partnered with animal control to ensure every healthy cat and dog found a home. The movement continued to grow with more cities and states working toward no-kill goals. Over time, major milestones followed. Utah launched a statewide no-kill campaign in 2000. Tompkins County in New York achieved no-kill status in 2005. The Nevada Humane Society created one of the largest no-kill communities in 2008. And the other major cities like Los Angeles and Jacksonville made significant progress throughout the 2010s. By 2019, national euthanasia numbers had dropped below 1 million for the first time, a dramatic decline from an estimate 17 million in 1984. It's Maria Segoviano, and I will be talking about the cultural and sociological importance. No-kill shelters are built around the idea that healthy and treatable animals should not be euthanized. Although the term no-kill can mean different things to different shelters, most follow the standard that at least 90% of their animals should leave the shelter alive either through adoption, transfer, or being returned to their owners. Support appreciates that these shelters focus on giving animals a real chance at life and do not euthanize pets simply because they are old, have been there too long, or because the shelter is full. No-kill shelters often house younger, healthier animals, which can make them more appealing to potential adopters. This model has proven successful in some places. For example, the San Francisco SPCA reported a 93% life release rate in 2015. The no-kill approach also comes with significant challenges because they only accept animals when space permits or when an animal meets certain health or behavioral standards. Many pets are simply turned away. These rejected animals may end up abandoned, living on streets, or reproducing, which adds to the overall stray population. Even for animals that are taken in, limited space means many remain in cages for long periods of time. Some may spend their entire lives in the shelter if they are never adopted, which raises concerns about their long-term well-being. Some no-kill shelters struggle to provide essential veterinary services such as vaccinations, spaying, neutering, and other medical procedures. There is also pressure to maintain the 90% live release rate, which can sometimes push shelters to adopt out animals with serious medical or behavioral issues, putting new owners at risk. These shelters accept all companion animals brought to them, regardless of age, behavior, or health, as long as they have space. To improve adoption chances, they often partner with foster programs and pet stores. One advantage of traditional shelters is that animals typically do not stay confined for months or years. Some argue that this prevents animals from suffering long-term mental stress from extended isolation in cages. Traditional shelters also face problems of their own. Overcrowding is common, which can lead to poor living conditions and make disease control difficult.
Ethical aspects against no-kill shelters. When people are confronted with the statement of against no-kill shelters, they possibly would perceive it as people who are empathetic or unconcerned about animals. This might be true, but they stand in different moral beliefs than those of the people that approve no-kill shelters, such as forestalling long-term suffering. Some animals arrive while already going through a tremendous amount of painful chronic episodes or have illnesses or injuries, or behavioral standards that might perceive as being an issue. People who are for no-kill shelters depend on the idea of bringing prolonged life to animals. But people against incorporate the idea that when the people in no-kill shelters inform vets to do surgeries, they can sometimes have high percentage rates to where the problem the animal had before can reoccur or come into light again. Limitation of resources. Space and necessities can be brought to a halt when having multiple animals being brought to a no-kill shelter, preventing collusion with overcrowding. They believe it's important for no-kill shelters to have crowdedly confined places for animals because it can cause the animals to feel overstimulated and paranoid. Not responsible. Animals are being excluded from homes due to owners not wanting to proclaim to all the responsibilities and expenses they will have to pay, when in truth, they should enhance their knowledge on the importance of bringing the animals to live a fulfilled life. Overall, the ethical concerns they might be perceived in their way as a more realistic outlook, but they should invoke the inclusion of being compassionate about providing animals with necessities they need rather than enthusiasing the animal because of their concerns that animals will overpopulate the community.
Psychological effects on animals behind cages. Oftentimes, when going to an animal shelter, whether it be a kill or no-kill shelter, animals are behind cages where they stay until adopted or end up passing. According to a study conducted, once animals have spent 2 weeks in a shelter, they become to psychologically deteriorate and gain the chance of becoming aggressive or developing a behavioral issue. When an animal is adopted from a shelter, an individual has a period in which they are able to return them back to the shelter, where oftentimes they end back in the shelter because they have developed behavioral issues, making it harder on them to become adoptable. Animals that are in a shelter need more than a place to stay, eat, and drink. They also need affection, playtime, room to run, etc., where they can live a happy life. When animals are put into shelters, spending 90% of their lives in a cage due to no-kill shelters being extremely overcrowded, it takes a toll on their bodies, minds, and causes them to suffer. However, the stress an animal may develop in a shelter if spending a short-term period can be from their previous history in which they may have went through with neglect negatively impacting them.
Overcapacity no-kill shelters are an issue prevalent in society at the moment. No-kill animal facilities are beginning to reach their wits' end in terms of their abilities to house unwanted pets. California Governor Newsom made a vow to save all of the pets in need of a home, stating, "We want to be a no-kill state." He used millions of taxpayer dollars to instate policies that would support the construction and upkeep of no-kill animal shelters. These efforts were in hopes of preventing mass amounts of euthanasia for pets that could have the opportunity of a forever home. This was stated by Newsom in 2020. However, according to the Sacramento Bee, California has since begun euthanizing more animals than ever. Due to the demand of space and resources for these animals, no-kill facilities aren't able to uphold the amount needed. No-kill shelters are prioritizing being resource centers and reducing the amount of animals they receive, rather than focusing on getting these pets into their promised forever homes. Strictly no-kill facilities are presenting more losses for animals than benefits as they continue to be euthanized due to overpopulation, defeating the sole purpose of emphasizing no-kill shelters. Financial obligations continue to arise within society as well. The recent government shutdown has not only affected humans in their everyday lives, but also those of animals. Pet care is being affected by the lack of federal funding and support. People are struggling to afford the cost of living, let alone afford the cost of maintaining an animal companion. In Fresno County, the Valley Animal Center, a no-kill shelter, has been faced with financial obligations. In 2025, they recently chose to decrease their intake of pets by 25%. While their ability to provide and care for animals is decreasing, the amount of animals being surrendered is increasing. In correlation, the amount of adoptions and rescues is also decreasing. A speaker for this Valley Animal Center expressed that usually cat adoptions are around 600 per year, while this year hasn't even gotten to 300. Contributing to the large amount of pets is still in the shelter. When people cannot feed their animals, they are being left to shelters such as the Valley Animal Center that can only do so much for a certain amount of pets. No-kill shelters remove the option to safely euthanize an animal that could end up suffering if it is not able to be properly cared for.
Failing animals. These animal shelters are boosting their image through commercials and videos, making it seem as if they will take any animal you bring into their shelter, lending them a place to have a forever home. However, as time has gone on, no-kill animal shelters are turning away several animals, leading people to abandon them on the side of the streets as they have no capacity to take these animals in. These no-kill shelters are betraying animals as they do not have the room to take them in, and rather than allowing them to be taken in, finding them a forever home, they are suffering, being dumped on the side of the roads, not being fixed, reproducing, having babies, and contributing to the ongoing problem of the growing population of abandoned animals. Through them turning away animals, they are not living up to their name of being a no-kill shelter, deceiving those who they don't take in. Instead of these animals being turned away, this is supposed to be a safe haven for these animals to be, as this is oftentimes the last resort for humans who turn these dogs in. Not only are these dogs not being turned away, but they are also being placed in an unsafe house where they would have been better off getting a second chance to live in a safe home, going to a shelter where they would not be turned away. In this video, there's a video of what is currently happening.
We aren't taking an animal.
But aren't you a shelter?
Well, we're a no-kill shelter. We don't have room.
The shelter's like they're full. I don't know what else to do. I'm sorry, okay? I am so sorry. Every day, shelters with no-kill policies turn animals away. They boast about their save rates, but countless animals aren't saved. No-kill policies betray animals.
Animal homelessness. Most of the time, less than 50% of dogs are adopted from an animal shelter, finding their forever home, leading to an overpopulated animal shelter, leading to no space and no-kill animal facilities. Year-round, there are millions of animals, cats and dogs, entering animal shelters, with the statistics showing around 6.3 million animals. Majority of the time, cats end up homeless as they have more of an ability to live in the wilderness, becoming stray cats, and out of these cats, it is shown that only 2% of them are neutered/spayed, being significantly low and leading to the increase in amount of homeless animals. With these animals being left outside, 81% of Americans think that leaving their cat outside rather than putting it down is the solution, leading to an increase in abandoned animals and an issue in overpopulation. In no-kill shelters, they oftentimes take in animals that are harder to adopt out as they may have an underlying illness or disability and develop behavioral issues being in a kennel.
Disease outbreak in Los Angeles shelter. Every year, animal shelters population increase in Los Angeles, especially after COVID-19. Everybody was looking for a companion at home and adopted a cat or a dog. However, after realizing how much work, training, and vet care animals take, the animal would end up at the shelter. This had caused a huge overcrowding problem in the shelters. On December 23rd, 2024, a staff writer from the Mirror reported, "The animals in the shelters face diseases and parasites such as giardia, tapeworms, and kennel cough, which, if left unchecked, can cause fatal pneumonia. Along with all these terrible diseases they can catch, they are also only getting let out 2 times a day if they're lucky. The rest of the day, they have to stay jam-packed inside with all the other animals." California got rid of dog mills and backyard breeding to prevent these exact problems. Now we are having all the same issues, but in the government's control. These animals are not living their best lives in the shelter, and unfortunately, most of them will never be adopted. New York City suspends intake of animals. New York City is currently having an overcrowding crisis due to no-kill facilities. As of July 21st, 2025, the city has suspended the intake of all dogs and cats. The city was expected to have a new facility to take more animals, but the project has yet to be completed. With the cost of housing going up in the city, many families can't afford to own an animal anymore. Without a facility to drop them off at, they are left to leaving them alone on the street. This is causing a huge problem with animals being left all around the city and having nowhere to put them. We hear it every day, "I just don't have time anymore." But your pet doesn't need all your time, just a little effort, a little care, and the chance to stay in the home they love, the AACC added. That is all they need. Unfortunately, you can't expect everyone to live by that or understand it. The cause of this problem in New York City is the no-kill facilities. It has left them with 0 options for the crisis they are now experiencing.
Against an opposed opinion. Throughout our informative grasp, we accumulated that people are corresponding towards the disapproving opinionated sides, which establishes on minimizing or deteriorating the chances for an expansion of no-kill shelters in countries. Based off the analysis of the overall situation, we came to a conclusion that people thrive down the idea that animals are needed to be minimized due to feeling that animals will be overpopulating the world, within people also feeling a pressurizing sense that animals will bring them to have lots of responsibilities. This creates them to depend on this deluded idea that they have to take the animals to kill shelters instead of no-kill shelters to diminish them, even though they are having misconceptions on the actual priorities of animals and the reason for animals being here, which creates them to be titled as unwanted animals. People against no-kill shelters are contributing to making animals feel belittled and approach them as a thing or an object that can be passed around every day, rather than approaching them in a caring presence and treating them like actual living beings. People against don't take in that notice within the sentimental values of animals.